So I think chickens have memories in a way that some people don't suspect.
Mother Earth News had a couple of months ago had a pretty good article on how to do it humane fast.
And did they talk about the upside down?
They put them into a funnel so the head comes out, and as soon as the head comes out, they start.
Yeah.
And there's no pain.
Well, I'm concerned because you have to get a certain depth, and if you don't, then there is pain. And I'm just afraid I'm going to do it wrong someday.
Yeah.
And I haven't ever had to put the axe down twice. Like it's.
Yeah. Oh man.
Could you talk to us and tell us about molting? Why some do it? Why?
I have some girls molting right now. Let me go see if I can get her, because they're usually a little skittish when they're molting.
No, and I've never had any chickens or anything, and I really want to do it right. It's like I really want to do it right. I don't want to. I've heard some people have like.
So this is Saffron Sunflower, and she is the queen of the coop. She's the smallest chicken in the coop, but she's the boss. Steffi, yes. Yeah. Okay, hold on one sec. I gotta get the wings proper. There we go.
And what kind is she?
She is actually a red sex link. Yeah, yeah. And she is now going on 2 years old. So she's going through her second molt. And you can see here she needs some underpants. So, and it's for some chickens it's a yearly molt, and for others it can happen more frequently or less frequently. Some chickens will molt all at once, meaning they'll drop a lot of feathers right away. What Saffron has been doing, what you looking at, babe? What Saffron has been doing is she's been doing a transitional molt. She's still laying eggs, which is really shocking to me, because the feathers, a chicken's feathers are protein, and so is an egg. And so when she eats every day, she's eating not only to provide for the egg, but to provide for her own regrowth of feather. And I've been waiting for her to just chill out and not lay an egg and just focus on the molting, but she just keeps going. And honestly, I can't really explain it. She's stubborn. But it means that she has to eat a lot in order, because it's making an egg every day is a big deal. I couldn't imagine trying to do that. So recently, this flock here had the fowl pox, which is transmitted through mosquitoes. And this year was a real big mosquito year, and part of the reason that I've started to put the mulch pretty much all over the yard. Because this side of the yard here, when it rains real hard, the ground underneath is pretty hard and the water doesn't drain quickly enough. And so I've given up the idea of grass over here, and I'm going with mulch so as to help keep down the mosquito population. But fowl pox, there's two types. There's dry pox and there's wet pox. And the dry pox, I just put a little article on my website today, which is hippychicksgarden@blogspot.com. Dry pox creates like these little black wart type things on their combs and on their wattles, and will go away after about 2 weeks. All right, and it's not because the chicken coop is dirty, but it's transmitted through the mosquitoes. And there is a vaccine that you can give to your chickens right when they're born. See how she's just kind of chilling out here? Yeah. But once they have the fowl pox, if it's dry pox, they'll be immune to it once they get through it. It takes about 2 weeks. Wet pox is more dangerous to chickens because wet pox actually gets into the nasal cavity and inside the mouth and can get into the lungs. And you'll know whether or not your chicken has wet pox because they'll start wheezing like they have asthma and breathing really, really hard, and they'll get lethargic very quickly. And it's harder to bring those birds back. What I did as soon as I learned that these girls girls had fowl pox. It doesn't hurt your eggs, it doesn't hurt your meat, doesn't hurt anything. It's just something, it's like us having chicken pox. You just got to get through it. But I started putting B12 in their water every day. And then I put a little cayenne pepper into their feed. And it serves as, the cayenne pepper sort of serves as an interior antibacterial. And B12 is just a little bit more vitamins for them. And the same company that makes, what is it called, Rooster Booster, or I have it out in the garage, so I'll go get it. I can show you the B12 that I use.
How much do you use per gallon?
It's right on the, it's right, let me go put her away and I'll go.
Real quick question on that. You were talking about vaccines. Do you have a philosophy on vaccines?
I
chicken
have the chicks, I get them Merrick's. I always have them vaccinated for that.
Okay.
Because I don't know that I could save a chicken if they got that. And then it can infect your flock. So.
Do you know anything about pox in baby chicks? My chickens just got the avian pox a couple of weeks ago, and I had very, very young chicks, males, that were exposed to a hen who had it, and I have no idea what the health impact is going to be on those babies.
Well, if they get it and survive, they'll be immune to it. Because once a chicken goes through the pox, then they have an immunity to it.
Yeah. Do you know what the symptoms are for a chick who gets the pox?
You would see some kind of lesion on them, and it looks like a black. Looks like a black wart. If it's the wet pox, which unfortunately baby chicks are, like fowl pox can be dry or wet.
Right.
In the same round.
Okay.
They'll have like the asthma effects and you might lose them within 24 hours.
Yeah.
They might show no signs at all and come out with immunity. So baby chicks are much more susceptible.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep the brooders separate from the rest of the coops around the corner. So, any questions before I put Miss Sappy back?
You were saying, are all your chickens still laying now?
Well, Saffron's laying. Most of the girls in here are laying. There's 3 other chickens in here going through various stages of molt. So they are not laying. The rooster doesn't lay. And then the girls in the garage barn coop have just started to lay. So I'm pulling about 7 eggs a day out of the